Hello, this is First Fire Non-Assault Move. Welcome back to the 10th video in the War in the East series. Gonna change the format up just a little bit to cut down on the length of the videos. So we're gonna go through the situation report for Army Group North, Center, and South fairly briskly and talk about plans real quick, and then I will do the bulk of my moves and we'll catch some of the combat on camera, anything noteworthy, and then we'll quickly come back and get a sit rep at the end, the conclusion of the turn, and then we'll execute the Soviets' turn and try to move along a little faster. So we'll start with the Finns. We have moved the Finns up and starting to array them against the Soviet front. We had two Soviet divisions isolated here. We attacked once or twice. I'll show you real quick. Here we go. And we got them to both surrender. So that was great. Good start. We did a couple deliberate attacks here, and the Soviets didn't budge. And we lost probably 3-1 odds. So we're going to be careful how we attack the Soviets here with the Finns. But we're going to keep the pressure on, keep attacking. And we're still moving through this territory, this northernmost territory of Finland, heading down, and we're making contact with some border regiments along here, which the Soviets are going to have to do a better job than what I see now in order to keep us out and getting a little claiming some territory here and threatening to come from the east and threaten Moscow. But we don't have enough, really. We don't have enough Finnish forces to have a long line. More than likely, it's just going to be a static line around here. Finnish no attack line. Well, isn't that interesting? I guess they can't attack. Huh. That's a game mechanic I'm not aware of. I'll have to get back to you on that. We did aerial recon. A lot of Soviet forces still built up around Leningrad. And encouragingly, they have a very thin line along most of Army Group North's front. Sorry, a little interruption. So as I was saying, Army Group North's front looking a little encouraging. We have 56 Panzer Corps with its 2 Panzer divisions ready to make their way behind the infantry and maybe cause some damage in through here. And they pulled back because we were putting the pressure on that hard fighting. I guess they had enough of it and they pulled back. Maybe with the threat around Smolensk and our salient building up, they don't want to risk an encirclement. If we did break through here, a little mini one, we'll see how that develops. Speaking of Smolensk, Army Group Center, there's a lot to look at here. I'm going to find the best place for a Schwerpunkt to penetrate these lines. Not sure if I'm going to look for another mini encirclement just to continue to fragment their lines and make advancements towards Moscow, which is not far away. And their lines have thinned a little bit, I think. And we're starting to push them back and disrupt their lines, the continuity of their defensive line. That's good. Oh, I want to show this. It's so groovy. Even with all the attacks last turn, look at this supply situation. Not bad. They're almost all at 50% or less. A little bit less than 50%, but we can work with that. We can definitely do some damage with that. And amazingly, this is sexy. 80% fuel. Oh my, my, my. Almost like the old days, only several weeks ago. So that is great stuff. So we're going to look at what we can do in Army Group Centers. Axis of attack, we'll figure that out. And coming down here, still making our way through the Pripyat. Getting there. Slow going, but, you know, come 1942, we'll be well across the Dnieper, I hope, on all fronts. All fronts. Coming down Kiev, it's thinning out our pressure. I mean, they've been counterattacking us each turn, but we're going to continue the pressure here, and it's just single divisions. No 3 stacks that we're accustomed to. except here where they massed for that one attack last turn. But not bad. We got a nice fresh 299th Infantry Division that's been marching, and our Axis miners are catching up. So again, we're going to find our Schwerpunkt through here. All right, back. Apologize that someone was letting off some rounds in our neighborhood. It was like 15 consecutive. Sounds like it was small arms fire. I don't know what's going on. If you hear sirens, I'll let you hear that before I hit pause. Anyways, so we're going to find out what we can do with the bridgehead as well. Again, not massive stacks in front of us. So that is good. But I think I know where they might have all gone. Look down here. Aerial recon. Yeah, the Soviets are getting concerned. They're starting to rail in divisions to stymie our advance in the south, which, you know, we broke through. And we're threatening Dnepropetrovsk. Not going to be able to take it this turn. But still, pretty darn good. You know, if they're massing here, let's displace them, and maybe we'll shift our axis of advance and break out here, and maybe get an encirclement and get across the Dnieper on a wide frontage. That's pretty good. I'll look at that. Yeah, they've massed up. They didn't like what they were seeing here. So it's going to be a bit of a slog to get back over the Dnieper in these areas, but, you know, we're not going to force a crossing. We will exploit bridgeheads where we're already across. And moving down here, let's talk supply. Not as bad as I thought. I thought these guys would be down, you know, below 10%. 42% there, not bad. I think we captured probably close to 1,000 tons of fuel last turn, and I think it probably went to our core headquarters and was distributed out to the panzer divisions, because we have 47, only 15. They're low, much lower than Army Group South, but we can do something with that. We can do something minimal but good. Here it's not so great. 17, 15, 1, 5. So definitely hurting still. Definitely far from optimal. And they've pulled back here because we were pressing down, we made a little breach in their lines as they were continuing to retreat and keep up a fighting withdrawal. So their lines are fragmented. We're continuing to press here down by our Odessa. And look at that. A whole bunch more airfields to maybe overrun. That would be groovy. Alright, we're not going to make it down to the Crimea to cut these formations off, but very fragmented front for the Soviets. They're massing around centers of gravity, their cities, their major cities, and they still have the Dnieper for the roadblock in front of the Germans. Still have the Dnieper to defend. And once we're across, though, oh boy, 1942. We're gonna look forward to that. But let's get as much done before winter sets in and we turn over to the new year, 1942, and see how it goes. All right, that is the situation report, and I'll get back to you. All right, I'm back. I have completed all the moves, at least I hope so, since I'm about to press the end turn button. Let's recap what happened. The theme is there was fighting across the entire front from Army Group North to Army Group South. And we will show some of the locations where the fighting took place. I was thinking of remaining a static defense here, as there's really no chance of taking Moscow with our overall strategic plan. But rather than just sit there on our heels, waiting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 powerful divisions at our disposal, we attacked multiple times. right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks. Several of them deliberate, and it was hard going. The Soviets put up a very good defense. We managed to rout this division and maul these 2 divisions, and we're in a pretty good spot to continue to press forward. However, we'll be pushing past the Pipists, and we really don't have anywhere to go once we get that far east. If anything, it will take some pressure off the Finns, and the Soviets can't ignore this. The overall strategic picture for Army Group North isn't in any way, shape, or form positioned or capable of taking Leningrad, but still, they will not ignore this, and I expect them to reinforce this shortly. Moving down, we didn't take Pskov, but again, we pressed forward with multiple attacks along the breadth of Army Group North's front, making some good progress. We're fragmenting the Soviets' lines. We're pushing the divisions into little pockets of resistance and mauling them badly. Our own casualties were not insignificant. We took some of the deliberate attacks against the Soviets very well dug in and ready to defend. We took considerable casualties on some of those attacks, which we'll probably be able to see. I'm a little worried to see the losses screen at the end of this one. But making progress and causing concern, and there after recon, there are no Soviets past these divisions that we are mauling, and we have a considerable force, almost primarily infantry, but they can do some damage, as we've seen, and they can make progress. They can march pretty far during a week's turn. We're almost to the airfield here and the headquarters. So I kind of like how this is shaping up. Moving a little bit south, the big news is, well, we didn't take Vitebsk. We didn't even try. We did push back the Soviets, get them off our front. We got to keep up the pressure. We got to cause casualties, which we did pretty significant. You can see rout all through here, which was good. They'll move back and most likely at least come adjacent to us and pressure us, but I don't think we're going to see any concerted attack here. This is a little concerning, but where are they going to go? Because if they push in this little salient they're developing, I think we could snip it off. All right, the big news. Oh my. We took Smolensk, and look at this. The Schwerpunkt was obviously directed at this part of the front in Army Group Center, and the infantry again did incredible work prying open this not insignificant defensive line the Soviets had. Hard fighting, shaping up the attack for the Panzer divisions to push forward, mauling a lot of Soviets, causing some routs. It wasn't easy, and again, our casualties were I don't want to say concerning, but they were not light. The Germans had to pay for this breakthrough. And having that extra fuel that Army Group Center's panzers are enjoying really helped. So looky. We have the 20th Panzer Division. I think I counted the hexes to be, we're 140 miles away from Moscow, with literally nothing in front of us. Strong Soviets, at least in numbers, on both flanks of this breakthrough. But if they don't get out of town pretty quick in this little pocket here, we'll be able to seal the deal and polish off at least 3, 6, 9, maybe close to 10 divisions here, that's another chunk out of their forces. It's just going to be beneficial down the road and in current ops and future ops. I reinforced this northern flank because I think this is the most concerning for me. But I think by attacking here, it's going to take some pressure off them building up around the northern flank of this breakthrough. But it's pretty... I think this is significant. Do we have the impetus and the fuel and the momentum to get closer to Moscow in an organized, deliberate advance? I don't want to go helter-skelter and pell-mell and just string out a line of panzer divisions, because that you're just asking for trouble there. So we're going to see what we can accomplish in the next couple of weeks. And I'll point out, it's only the second week of August. So, not so bad. Again, just pushing forward. We relieved in place one of the panzer corps here. So the infantry is holding strong. They may, I don't see where they could really mass like those 3 high stacks, those 3 division hexes across a 3 hex front to attack our infantry here and cause any concern. Maybe right here, but we have a strong force there to hold off any, even if they did mass here. I'm not too worried about it. But looking pretty interesting, the developments here. All right, moving down, nothing to report significantly. We made a little push here because we had 3 strong infantry divisions. No point in just sitting idle. Maybe pry open here, because the more success we have up here, the more tension is relieved in front of us elsewhere along the front. Kiev, the slog continues, and we are winning. I don't want to say a war of attrition, because I don't think it's really a war of attrition. I think we have the upper hand, and I wouldn't get myself in a war of attrition in front of Kiev. I would just shift the axis of advance around Kiev. But I think we're making some progress here. And I will show you real quick the amount of attacks that took place. Multiple attacks, and again, our casualties were higher than I would like, but we have to press forward, we have to press the attack, we have to keep the Soviets at a disadvantage, we have to not let them establish a defensive line, a contiguous, strong defensive line in front of us, where they can start massing these troops that they're racing in, starting, from the depths of the Soviet Union, the far reaches. We have to keep the pressure on and push forward. And that is what it's looking like. So we will continue to press forward. Across this frontage before Kiev. More than likely we won't attack. If we reach the gates here before they pull out, we won't make attacks into Kiev. We'll encircle Kiev. And the same holds true. Pressing forward, pushing the Soviets back with the Chikazi bridgehead. Multiple attacks across the front of the bridgehead, making good progress, causing casualties, pushing out the Soviets back to their headquarters in their airfields. And lines are thinning. Not so many Soviets in front of us right now. Or less, I should say. And we mauled some of the Soviets pretty severely. We took casualties, and we're showing some wear and tear as well, and we can't keep this up every single week, so there's going to have to be a operational pause at one point. Oh, couldn't do very much down here. A lot of our panzer divisions remained in place. We just didn't have the fuel. I pulled back a little bit because the Soviets are pushing in a lot of divisions to seal this up, and this is more than likely the place where they'll get multiple hexes with 3 divisions each. That's the pattern so far, is that they mass in certain sections, like 3 or 4 hexes where there's 3 divisions in each hex, and they attack the most vulnerable German division of ours. So just pulled them back to be sure, but remained keeping a bridgehead here didn't bother and to do anything, had nothing to do with Dnepropetrovsk. Certainly not going to take that. But finally, the infantry is relieving in place the front that was really held by what you could say was static panzer divisions for, I don't know, better part of a month now. It's very, very disappointing. So we're catching up, and we have a little gap here that I don't think we have the maneuverability to exploit, even if this was clear terrain, let alone having to cross the Dnieper here. So nonetheless, we're gonna push forward, see what can develop here. At the very least, we will force them to concede Odessa and Nikolaev. But it might take a little longer than we'd like, kind of like what happened with Sevastopol. It's a port town, and they'll be in supply, and they can remain pretty strong along there just to hold us up. And they have divisions to spare, so it may not be as clean as we would like. Nonetheless, pressing forward across the front, and that is about it. I will pause for one last scroll around, looking for anyone we've forgotten. I don't believe I forgot any of our railroad engineers. Well, something interesting happened. FBD4, these railroad engineers, repair engineers, they were here, and for some reason, I apologize. A little break in interruption there. What I was saying. So where was I? Yeah, lost my train of thought. Here we go. So these railroad repair engineers were here for some reason, even though it's an axis rail damage 100 and we had full movement. I was not able to repair that hex. Maybe they were suffering from supply. I don't know what the deal was. So anticipating that this Soviet, unidentified Soviet formation, I don't know what this is. Is this how we lose the war? They cut this rail line. Totally stop Army Group Center. Oh, Lord. I don't believe it's a leftover from the pocket, because we moved tons of divisions across here, and we definitely would have picked it up. My guess is that the Soviets, for goodness sakes, they parachuted a force behind our lines, or this is the beginning of us encountering partisans behind the line. But you know, it's a little early for partisans to already be forming in like a legit formation here. Anyways, I had to pull this security division because we had absolutely nobody around to scout this out. I don't know where they're gonna go. They're gonna take Vilnius? Good God. Or Kaunas? Anyways, that's intensely annoying. But good on them for doing that, causing intense annoyance for the Germans. Interesting. We had the Italians. I wanted them to go up there and check it out. But when we detrained, I could not move. They detrained around here. I could not move north. It was all blanked out, like there was a line, a demarcation. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. There we go. Axis ally limit line. There you have it. That must have been a strategic constraint placed on the Axis miners, or maybe the Axis miners said, hey, we're not going to fight this far north. We're going to stay closer to our own homeland. Very interesting. All right. The Italians aren't going to be partisan fighters or paratroop fighters, anti-paratroop, anti-partisan fighters. I'm gonna have to find someone else if this becomes a thing. I certainly hope not. Alright, so I'm gonna pause and I'll get back to you once I make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Alright, that was pretty quick. That was probably like the third time I checked. So I only found one formation I forgot. This lonely Hungarian infantry brigade was back here, so I moved them up. Alright, we are about to press and turn. The Germans have spent another week of very hard fighting across the front. Let's see what the Soviets do. Did I forget anything? Last cold feet before I press this, but okay, here we go. Yep. Let's see how they react to our little breakthrough by Smolensk and what they start to do in Army Group South when they are concentrating forces. What is that? Another paradrop. Good lord. A little nervous. I don't know what that stupid formation is gonna do. Recon. Oh. Interdictions. Alright. They only did very minimal aerial recon on us. I like we got a glimpse when the Soviets do their turn of what their formations look like on their end. When we only see like we would, I guess, like only partial intel of the formations in front of us. They're colored in with their own, I guess this is kind of spying because we can see, I think they're color coded based on maybe the fronts they're attached to. Those are purpley down there. So they're getting their headquarters out of there. They still have that rail free to get out of Dodge down through the Crimea. And we're not going to be able to reach and cut that line in the next couple of weeks. So if they want to, they could extract most of those forces. I'm really interested in where they're going to attack. I guess they learned their lesson last turn when we captured all that fuel overrunning their airfields. They're trying to stage the aircraft farther east. We're not really causing any losses during these interdictions, I would hope. Well, they lost one fighter there. And another one there. I mean, it'd be great when they're flying, trying to get out of Dodge, that we could maybe shoot more down. Okay, we are, look at that, 25 fighters, 25 bombers, and they only lost one fighter. Huh. That's interesting. They got their Soviet anti-aircraft guns helping them out. Some AAA. Well, they have a boatload of aircraft. I hope this doesn't take forever as we see all these Soviet Air Force formations leaving. I mean, our Air Force is going through all this effort, and we're not really causing any kind of losses to them. Only 11 men, 21 men, 22 men. Just a scratch. Nothing significant at all. Hopefully it's affecting their ability to move so that they can't get away. Limit their freedom of maneuver with these interdictions. Where are you going to attack? I must ask. Surely you're going to attack somewhere. For a couple weeks they were beating up on the poor Romanians down there by Odessa. I think they're getting out of dodge down there. Wow. See, I don't want to get excited because when we watch the Soviets' turns, remember, not all their forces are rendered on the map. So where we see a lot less Soviets, once their turns ended, they all render back on the map. So look at Vitebsk. I don't think they're leaving Vitebsk like that. Maybe the attacks on Army Group North's front really made them think twice about holding in place by Vitebsk. Very interesting. Oh, look at that bunched up mass of Soviets. If anything, we might not be able to cause the greatest amount of casualties in the next couple. Oh, there we go. It was just, I don't want to say just a regiment they attacked. No, I think it was a division and a regiment there. They counterattacked there. This can't be it. Nope. Okay. Still putting up a fight. It's going to be hard to get them out of that rough terrain. Very hard. Look at that around Kiev. Wow. They lost 2,554 men. We lost 175. You know, when they come and attack like that, it takes them out of position. So we're suffering losses. However, we'll see what we can do to take advantage of that. Yeah, there's what I was expecting. Oh, Lord. Well, they can't do that everywhere. It's isolated along the front, and I don't think they have the command and control, the organization to really make a operational threat. It's localized along the front. So they are pushing back and leaving Odessa. Interesting. They definitely didn't leave Nikolaev undefended. Can't possibly have done that. I think we might be able to encircle six of the Soviet divisions there next turn. Pretty cool, exciting, you know. When they cause some concern, it makes it a good fight. It's not going to be easy everywhere. Certainly not easy at all, but did they attack and then pull back? That's interesting. All right, just a handful of attacks, you know, caused some damage to us, casualties, but I think they lost far more than they would have liked with those attacks, and I don't think they accomplished much. Just a shove back here and there. Very limited. At least we hope so. Let's take a quick... Oh, darn it. I forgot to show you the losses screen before I executed. Apologies for that. This is what they did to us this turn. 17,000 casualties. I believe they caused... Yeah, they did cause more casualties last turn when they had far more attacks. We lost a lot of guns. Probably defending... A lot of field pieces, probably. 37 millimeters, 50 millimeters, 75 millimeter infantry guns. We could probably see scrolling down. Yeah, this turn we lost. Are they classifying mortars as well under guns? Probably. Yeah, we lost 37 anti-tank guns this turn. Yep. 27 1. Wow. Whoa, 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 whoa. How did we lose 27 105s? That is not good. Not good at all. Field guns? Oh, the 75 field guns. I figured we'd lose more. The bulk of it coming out of our own mortars. Maybe when we retreated, couldn't retain them on the retreat. Wow. 150 MG-34s. 450 squads. Yeah. Losses abounding for the Germans. It is overall a war of attrition that we have to get ahead of and not let it become that. Soviets only lost 49,000, so it's not that bad of a trade-off for them at all. They lost 418 guns of their own and 149 tanks. Those losses amounting for sure. All right, interesting. I want to take a quick peek what it looks like. I know the anticipation killing me. All right, they have conceded a lot of terrain for us, and that is very interesting. But let's save that for the next video, and I'm going to cut it here. I definitely want to try to be a little more strict on keeping these videos shorter. I hope you enjoyed, and this is getting very interesting. We're on the 3rd week of August, and things are about to get real. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. This is First Fire Non-Assault Move out.